Hi there, I'm back, and I want to talk to you all about my new TBR game, Time Travel TBR. So, the theme of Time Travel TBR is being able to travel through time via the books that we read. And my personal goal is to use this TBR game to help me get through as many books as I can in my physical TBR. So, the game is pretty simple. You roll a die and move about the board, and then each of the game spaces correspond to a certain TV show or a movie that features time travel. I'll quickly go over the game spaces, but rest assured, as we play the game, you'll get more and more familiar with it. So the first one is Mothership, and these prompts all correspond with traveling in some way, shape, or form, primarily outside of the UK and the US. For example, this one is set in an African country, and this is inspired by the show Timeless, and the mothership was the time travel device in that show. Next is DeLorean, which was obviously from Back to the Future. And these are all my genre based prompts. So, historical fiction, thrillers, mystery. This one is romance. Next is Tempad. And these are all prompts that are based from friends and family recommendations. And this is from the TV show Loki. This one is Husband Pick. Next is Jump Band. This is from the movie The Tomorrow War on Prime. And this is all number based prompts because two of the main characters in that movie were scientists and mathematicians, I believe. So this one is a book under 300 pages. The next one is Detour. And these would be any prompts that would cause me to do something that I wouldn't typically do when I'm creating my TBR, like reading the lowest rated book on my TBR. Wouldn't necessarily choose to do that anytime soon, but because of this prompt, it would push me to do so. And the last game space is the Time Machine Challenge card. And this would be a special kind of incentive. If I get these prompts done, I will get twice the book tokens. And I'll explain book tokens in a second. So, for example, this one is new to me author, and I typically like to read books that I've read from the author before, but this will push me to read a bunch of the debut or new to me authors that I have on my shelves. So, book tokens. With every book that I read off of my physical TBR, I will get one book token. And for every 5 book tokens that I get, I will be able to haul or purchase one book. So, with the challenge cards, the special time machine ones, I will get double the tokens for each one of those prompts that I accomplish. So if I say, for example, picked, a challenge card for new to me author. So if I read a book for that particular prompt, I would get 2 book tokens for the read of one. I don't necessarily know when I will actually decide to cash in on my book tokens and do that whole special haul, but I'm sure I'll let you guys know whenever that happens. And then the punishment for this game is for every one book that I do not read off of my physical TBR for the month, I will have to lose a book token. So less of a chance that I'm going to get to that book haul. Okay, now that we're done with the rules, let's jump into all of the books I'm going to be reading in the month of April. Okay, so this is the first round of the Time Travel TBR game. We are going to obviously have our hourglass for our little token here. And yeah, let's do the first roll. 2, 1, 2. Okay, start a series. So for the first roll, I got start a series, and for that, I'm going to be reading An Ember in the Ashes by Sabaa Tahir. This is book 1 in the Ember in the Ashes quartet, and I have a plan to read the whole series before the end of this year because I really loved this book when I read it. I think it was last fall, and so the plan is to read through this book and get to the end of the series before the new release from Sabaa Tahir comes out in October, I think. October, November is when it's coming out. So for those that don't know, this is a story following 2 individuals as they are navigating all of the obstacles through this martial empire. There are different moments of political intrigue, and it's a fantasy, but I would say, I don't know if I would consider it high fantasy. I would say it was just a young adult fantasy novel. There's slow burn romance. There's political games going on. There is a competition. It has a lot of just great writing in it, and I really enjoyed this so much. So I'm looking forward to getting back into it very soon. All right, roll number 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Another challenge card. And read a book that intimidates you. All right, for roll number 2, I got another challenge card. So 2 challenge cards in the first round. Wow. And for that, I got read a book that intimidates you. And I selected There by Tommy Orange. And I've heard such great things about this book in particular, about Tommy Orange's writing. And I guess what intimidates me most about this is I really don't want to be disappointed. Like, I've heard such great reviews. And so I'm hoping that a lot of the themes don't go over my head and that I'm able to fully comprehend it and absorb it. I also know that Tommy Orange has come out with a new release this year, and a lot of people are saying that Wandering Stars is amazing as well. So if I really enjoy this book, I definitely will be picking up the next one. Roll number 3, a 4, Mothership, non-Western setting. Okay, so roll number 3, I finally got away from the challenge cards, and I got a book that was set in a non-Western setting. And for that, I selected Dust Child by Nguyen Phan K Mai. And this is a historical fiction novel that follows 3 individuals as they navigate their lives during and after the Vietnam War. I know this was a top 10, top 15, top 5 of a lot of people that I really respect for last year. And so, not the people I respected last year, no. I respect them, and they selected this as one of their top books from the books that they read last year, is what I meant. So, yeah, and I read the first chapter of this in a bookstore and really enjoyed the story so far. So, I'm looking forward to actually delving further into the story and finishing it this month. Roll number 4, a 2, 1, 2, and pad. Storygraph chooses. So for roll number 4, I got a TemPad prompt, and this is a book that Storygraph chooses for me. And I didn't have to think about it. It was going to be Before I Let Go by Kennedy Ryan. This has been in my Storygraph recommendations tab for months, and I've had this book for months. So I really need to get to this. I've heard so many great things about Kennedy Ryan. She's all over my Bookstagram because the second book in the series has come out. And so I have the e-arc to that book, but I need to read this one first because that's how I am. I don't like reading books. Even though they're like companion series, even those books I don't, or those types of series, I don't like reading them out of order. I like reading them in order. That's just me. So all I know about this book is that it is a adult romance, and we are following 2 individuals who were previously married, and they have a child together. They've since divorced, but they still are business partners and they're good friends. And it's going to be a second chance romance, which I love so much. Roll number 5. 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Jump band. Published before 2023. For roll number 5, I think did I say 5 or 4 in the last one? Roll number 5, I got a book that was published before 2023. And for that, I will be reading Their Eyes Are Watching God by Zorana Hurston. And this book follows Jane, who is a young woman who wants to kind of set out on her own and learn about life. And I have really wanted to read this book, one, because I've heard really great things about Zorana Hurston as a novelist as well as a journalist. And also this book is partly set in Eatonville, which is where my good friend is from. So, hey, Shauna, if you're out there watching. And a 5. Detour. Longest book on my TBR. Okay. And the last book that I got is for the prompt, the longest book on my TBR, which I went onto my Storygraph and I found out that it's going to be this one, The Eye of the World by Robert Jordan, which is book 1 in the Wheel of Time series. I'm actually going to be buddy reading this with Sylvia from Library Unbounded. And I'm excited about that because I feel like this is the type of book. Every time I've heard about people reading this book, they said that it's best enjoyed in a buddy read or when you're kind of in a read along. So I'm really thankful for Sylvia for agreeing to join me in this quest through the Wheel of Time series, which is 14 books long. So yeah. Anyways, most of what I know about the story is it's high fantasy, and we are following a group of friends who are navigating through being partly chosen for a higher purpose. And one of them in particular is the Dragon Reborn, which is a figure that no matter what was going on in different time periods and different lives, they are either going to choose the dark or the light, and whatever this character chooses has dire consequences for the entire world. So looking forward to getting into this. I did watch some of the series and I did enjoy the overall plot in it. So I'm looking forward to getting even more in-depth understanding of the plot and the characters in reading this book. Well, let's see. Let me see if I can take all, I don't know if I can get all these books in this shot. Okay, so these are the 6 books that I will be reading, hopefully, this month. And yeah, hopefully I get through all of them, because with everyone that I don't read, like I said, I will be losing a book token. Well, technically, because it's the inaugural, this is the, oh, what's the word? This is the inaugural round, so I won't be actually losing any points, but yeah, I won't be gaining any either if I don't finish my TBR, so this is very important. But anyways, thank you so much for watching this video. Let me know in the comments below what books you plan on reading in April, and like this video if you enjoyed it, subscribe if you'd like to join the fam, and I will see you in the next one. Take care.